Every so often, the Pokemon TCG has a brand new, ready to play product. There are three levels of Pokemon product. Level one is for beginners, level two is for players who are ready to start their journey into competition, and level three is those ready made decks that will take you to a tournament ready. Today, we're looking at a level two product called the Marnie's Battle Rival deck. Now, the Marnie's Battle Rival deck cards also will be coming in the Destined Rivals set as their own printing, but this Battle Rival deck is a $15 product that you can pick up that has a bunch of competitively viable cards. How can we take this deck into a deck that will cut a regional, a League Cup, or even the World Championships? Well, today I'm going to teach you guys how that's going to happen. My name is Rahul Reddy, and today we're going to be looking at this Marnie's Battle Rival deck, piecing it apart, talking about each of the individual cards in here, and then going into what you can do to improve this deck and take it to your next tournament. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It would help out the channel quite a bit. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we're going to be looking at the Marnie's battle deck, like I mentioned earlier. Marnie and her Pokemon are a tough fighting team. Sorry about that. We have this beautiful promo card that it comes with. Morpeko eating a little berry. You can see an up close picture of this here as well. It also comes with a playmat, a couple of damage counters, a deck box, and a coin, all exclusive to this individual product. But let's take a closer look at the actual deck list here. We have a 432 copy of the Grimmsnarl EX line, which is the poster of this product. Now we can see here, or we have so this product also, if you ever want to play like a thicker Grimmsnarl line, we're probably never going to need more than like a 433. So all you got to do is pick up one more copy of Grimmsnarl EX, and we're good to go. We have two copies of Marnie's Morpeko, one copy of the Scrafty, and two copies of the Scraggy. So maybe a Scrafty is good. Maybe you want a second one. Two copies of the Liepard and two copies of the Purloin. Also, in the situation, maybe the card's good. You want to pick up a couple more, but I feel like it's not going to be. We have four Professor's Research in the form of Sada, three Drayton, two Boss's Orders, and two Iono. This supporter core is very strong and used in almost every competitive Pokemon TCG tech. Between Professor's Research, Boss's Order, and Iono, you can just pick these up and you will have them for the future for any competitive deck you want to use. We're just missing some Arvins. There's two copies of Spike Myth Gym that come in here as well, four copies of Ultra Ball, three copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin, which are pretty much universally used in decks as well for search and just setting up your board and pure consistency. Now, we don't have any Nest Balls in here, but that's just something you can pick up to bolster these decks. Three copies of Rare Candy to help out any Stage 2 deck, just like this one, because Grimmsnarl is a Stage 2. Two copies of Switch to move around, a copy of Energy Recycler, a Super Rod, and an EXP share. A little bit of recovery here. Night Stretcher is the significantly better recovery card in a lot of situations, but having one copy of Super Rod can't hurt. There are 14 copies of Basic Dark Energies, which is also probably the easiest thing to get. Now, we're going to take a look at some of these cards right now. We have the Marnie's Purloin that does 20 plus 40 for if your opponent's active is an EX. Doesn't really do too much, but the Liepard has Sharp Nail, 70 plus 70 if they are an EX. 140 damage, not too bad on a stage 1. Can do quite a bit of damage, can two-shot a lot of things. We have Marnie's Scraggy here that needs a lot of energies here for this cute little guy to do 50 damage and discard an energy. It is Poffin searchable as a 7 HP, so you can kind of set it up. Marnie's Scrafty also exists here with 120 HP, has Rear Kick and Wild Tackle. 160 damage is quite a bit of damage on a one prize attacker, but how many times can we chain this when we're doing 30 damage to ourselves? Then we have Marnie's Impidimp. This cute little guy has Filch, which draws a card, also 70 HP, but all we need is the Impidimp and the Morgrim to set ourselves up into this Grimmsnarl, the poster of this deck. 320 HP is a behemoth of a Pokemon, and Dark type as well here. So Weak to Grass shares a lot of the commonalities between weaknesses in the format, has the ability Punk Up. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 basic Dark Energy cards in any way you like and attach them to your Marnie's Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. Basically, one Grimmsnarl and all of a sudden our entire board is set up. You want to attack with Liepard? Attack with Liepard. You want to attack with the Scraggy? Go for it. Wild Tackle? Be my guest. But the coolest thing is this Pokemon also has a very powerful attack in Shadow Bullet. 2 Dark Energies, does 180 damage and 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. 180 is enough to put ourselves in position with a couple of modifiers to knock out a lot of things in the format. It's also very efficient because it powers itself up. So once you go from Morgrim into Grimmsnarl or Impidimp with a Rare Candy into the Grimmsnarl, you have a set up Pokemon TCG board. We also have the Marnie's Morpeko here that does Spiked Wheels, 20 plus 40 for each Dark Energy attack to this Pokemon. So with one single Grimmsnarl, we can be swinging for 220 damage on a single Morpeko. This little guy is a menace. And finally, we have the Spike Muth Stadium. Spike Muth Stadium also says once during your turn, That player may reveal their deck for a Marnie's Pokemon and put it into their hand. Shuffle up your deck. So turn 1, you can go into the Impidimp, and then you have one extra way to find another Grimmsnarl, to find another attacker, whatever you want here, because Spikemuth will get you the Grimmsnarl, and then you can rare candy into it. Now, I'm going to just show you guys how popular this Grimmsnarl deck is in Japan. There are 13 pages of results from City Leagues. City Leagues in Japan are equivalent to like a League Cup, effectively. But you can see here, firsts, seconds, slews of thirds, slews of fourths. This is all from one individual day. 6th, 7th. The 11th of May was a very popular day over in Japan. A bunch of placements here. And then you go to the next day, the 10th. You see all these placements coming in, and they're all coupled with one partner, Frostlass. Now, there was a recent Champions League that just took place that had over 5,000 players, and 3 of the best players in Japan, Haru Nishikawa, Yoshiyuki Arai, and Reiji Nishiguchi, piloted this Marnie's Grimmsnarl Frostlass 60 card deck to 3 top 16 berths. 3 berths of the top 16 were taken up by this Grimmsnarl deck. So this is a deck that you could pick up tomorrow and take to your competitive tournaments, because this is 3 people that did this out of 5,000 players. 3 identical 60s. Now, if you look at this list, it's very simple. There's a 4-2-3 Grimmsnarl line because Grimmsnarl becomes your main attacker at a certain point in the game, but you don't need to rush right into it. This Grimmsnarl doesn't power up these Munkidori like you might think. Remember, Punk Up only works on Marnie's Pokemon, so this Munkidori can't get powered up to use the Adrenal Brain. Wouldn't it be so Giga Omega broken if you were able to go triple Munkidori and then evolve into Grimmsnarl and power up all 3 Munkidori in one turn? Right? Wrong. Well, we can't do that. That's a little bit cheating. But you basically just want to get the board running, have a big attacker in this guy when you have the Munkidori in the back, basically just ready to power up and kind of spread damage onto your opponent's side of the board. We have a Frostlass as well, 2-2 Frostlass. Once we set these guys up, we're spreading a lot of damage, being able to take multi-prize KOs, reducing the damage, or basically reducing the effective HP of our opponent's Pokemon by using the Frostlasses to tick some damage onto the board, and then the Grimmsnarl kind of cleans up as an efficient attacker. The Munkidori also helps us move our own damage to use Adrenal Brain to set up perfect numbers. Now, in the early game, we're going to be sitting behind this Badoo while we're powering up our board. No surprises here, and we want to keep using this Badoo until our opponent basically takes a prize, and we go into Counter Catcher, do it again, take some time with it. We spam the Iono card, that's really cool. We have the 4 Arvins here, also something we're going to be picking up for this deck as well. Arvin is a pretty strong staple in most decks. We have this Shaman, which blocks bench damage as well. Not Poffin searchable, but we do have basically just ways to get to it. You can see here there's not a lot of Pokemon search in the deck. Just 2 copies of Poffin and 1 copy of Ultra Ball, but that's just because we're relying on our Arvin to get to that 1 Poffin, or we can use Secret Box, our A-Spec, to find ourselves a copy of TM Evolution, Arvin, Spike Myth, and like a rescue board, for example, which basically sets up our entire board as we're going. We have 3 copies of Research, so also in the early game, we're fine to haphazardly discard resources because we just need to get our board set up, and once we have everything in play, we're chilling. 3 copies of Counter Catcher and only 1 copy of Boss because we're going to be playing from behind almost the entire game. The point of our deck is a spread deck, and then we're going to be able to capitalize on the board in the later part of the game. 2 copies of Rare Candy because we can still get into that Grimmsnarl pretty quickly if we need to, or we miss a Morgrem, we got to just get up there really quickly. We have 2 copies of Night Stretcher and 1 copy of Rod because we're going to be discarding a lot of resources early on, and our opponents are going to be able to chase down our board pretty effectively. We have Secret Box, our A-Spec, which I think is pretty cool. And we have TM Evolution and Devolution. The Evolution is just basically if we have a matchup where we don't really need to use Badoo immediately, we can just take our time, go immediately into Frostlasses or go into Morgrem Force and just set up our board. TM Devolution is really cool because it also just is really good into those big decks like Dragapult, Gardevoir, Charizard that aren't really equipped to deal with a TM Devolution, because once you do a bunch of Munkidori damage and just TM Devolution their board, the game is over. We have 1 copy of Rescue Board and 1 copy of Defiance Band. Defiance Band puts us to 210 if we need to, and with a couple of Frostlass ticks, that's enough to knock out pretty much every Pokemon in the game. 2 Spike Myth to search our Pokemon, 2 Artisan to search the bench Pokemon. We have 2 ways to find Marnie's, we have 4 ways to find Marnie's Pokemon, basically, and then, the Artisan does the job to get like Badoos, Snorants, Munkidoris, those kinds of things, which helps us out tremendously. 8 Dark Energies, which is, I think, a pretty reasonable amount because we do get to pull 5 out of the deck if we need to. I don't think we're ever going to need to get all 5 with Punked Up because it can only go to the Grimmsnarl. But it's a very cool strategy and a very unique way to play the deck. Like I said, this deck has been very, very popular over in Japan. I can't wait to see what kind of success it has over here. And what would have thought, a theme deck card is a very powerful card. This is a deck you can pick up and just take to a tournament tomorrow. Basically, the deck comes with a bunch of Grimmsnarls. You just need to pick up 1 more like we talked about. It already comes with a bunch of researches, 2 bosses, all the Poffins you need, some Ultra Balls. The Super Rod is already in there. So all we need to pick up, the spike one's there too, all we need to pick up is a couple of cards here, maybe $20 worth of cards once again, and all of a sudden you're set, good to go. Time to compete in your first Pokemon tournament. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. See you guys.